Self-employed plumber Bill Wilson lives in Palmdale, California, with his wife Michelle, who is an office worker. They have been happily married for 18 years and have 3 grown-up children and 4 grandkids.
My Bill is a strong Bill, the guy who's like there for everybody in our family.
Bill likes to work hard and play hard.
In my youth, I used to do a lot of motorcycle racing, but due to multiple accidents and injuries, I stopped riding.
But when the economy tanks, Bill has to take a plumbing contract working the night shift.
They needed me out in the field, hydrojetting sewer lines for a restaurant chain. This is a pretty demanding job, holding onto a hose that's producing high-pressure water. It's a constant moving of your body between 6 and 8 hours every day.
6 weeks in, Bill's new job begins to take a toll on his body.
I could barely even hold onto the hose. I just had no energy and no concentration, and I just felt nauseous, and all I wanted to do was throw up. I went straight to the bathroom, went in, and just threw up.
After struggling through the rest of the week, Bill finishes up a shift and heads home.
By the time I pulled into the driveway, it was all I could do to just open the door, go into the house, and crawl into bed. The pain in my stomach was so much that I never got a chance to actually sleep.
As he lies in bed, Bill wonders what might be wrong.
I thought I had the flu because I was very weak and I had no energy, but I'm not the type of person to just go into the medicine cabinet and say, oh, I'll try this. So I didn't take anything, no aspirin, no nothing. As days go on, it just kept getting progressively worse, and I would just keep working. I couldn't afford to take any time off because I wouldn't be paid for it, and we really needed the money. I would wait till I got to work, and then I would throw up at work. I wouldn't do it at home because I didn't want my wife, Michelle, to see it.
A week later, Michelle picks up on something odd.
This one morning, Bill came home from work, and I woke up when he came in. He didn't come into the bedroom. He went straight into the bathroom. And then I heard him starting to throw up in the bathroom.
So she comes to the door, pounds on the door, wants to know what's wrong.
I tried to ask him, are you sick? And he's like, no, I think I just ate something that was bad, and I'll be fine. Just go back to bed.
But Michelle won't let the matter rest.
I was angry. I was angry at his job. I was angry at him for letting them take advantage of him. So he did not want to talk to me. He stormed out of the bathroom. I had to get ready for work and leave. That was pretty much the end of the conversation.
For the rest of the week, the couple barely see each other until the weekend, when they prepare for their grocery shopping.
I proceeded to walk around the kitchen, looking for things that we needed, and telling him as he wrote them down.
It's then that Michelle notices something.
Certain things that he had written down were misspelled, like common everyday things like carrots, juice. I've been married to Bill for almost 20 years, and he may not be a genius, but I know that he knows how to spell carrots or juice. This was the turning point where I said to him, you're not going to work tomorrow. This is serious. We need to find out what's going on. You are going to the doctors.
The next morning, Michelle drives Bill to a nearby hospital. A doctor examines Bill and notices something odd.
He asked me to stand on a scale and discovers that I lost a considerable amount of weight. My normal body weight was between 170 and 175 pounds. I was 145 pounds, and I was concerned at that point.
The doctor takes blood samples and orders an X-ray of Bill's belly. The results reveal something unusual on the left side of his stomach.
His lymph nodes were enlarged.
Lymph nodes are part of the immune system. They line most organs of the human body, including the stomach. They swell when the body is trying to fight off an infection.
They were concerned when they saw the lymph nodes. That was like their first alarm, basically.
2 days later, Bill's doctors arrive at a tentative diagnosis.
The doctor informed me that it looked like I had stomach cancer.
In California, doctors have told Bill Wilson that he may have stomach cancer.
I was in complete shock. Made my way out across the parking lot and got in my truck. I just sat there, holding my phone in my hand. Opened up my phone book and I scrolled down to my wife's name and was just sitting there trying to figure out how can I tell it to her in such a way that she's not gonna freak out on me. After about 5 minutes or so, I hit the green button to call her at work.
He said to me, "Are you sitting down?" And I said, "Yes, I'm sitting down. Just tell me what the doctor said." And he started to cry, actually. And what he said to me was, "I'm too young to die." And I had never heard him cry like that before. I started crying. And he said the doctor told him he had stomach cancer.
Over the next few days, the once strong Bill becomes weaker and weaker. Now, it's Michelle who must become the strong one in the family.
Bill was not able to go to these appointments on his own. So I had to take him to the appointments. I obviously couldn't go to my job. I had to call in and explain to them what was going on.
After a few days, Michelle pays a price for helping her husband.
My job decided that they needed someone at the desk, so they let me go. It was horrific.
Without jobs, income, or health insurance, the couple must dip into their savings to pay for the treatment. As the days go by, Bill's illness eats away at their lives and his body.
We figured it was somewhere between 2 and 2.5 pounds a day I was losing.
He had pretty much stopped throwing up, but then again, he had pretty much stopped eating. He was starting to look like a skeleton with skin on it. I felt like I was watching him die right before my eyes at that point. We decided to see a different doctor and get a second opinion.
The next day, Michelle drives Bill to an urgent care center, where he is seen by Dr. Hovsep Medesian.
He was very emotional, him and his wife. They got that diagnosis of cancer. They're really very, very depressed. Whatever was going on with Bill ultimately would kill him, and we had to find out what was going on.
Dr. Medesian takes blood, stool, and urine samples for testing.
At that point, Bill had given up. He did not care if he lived or died.
In Palmdale, California, plumber Bill Wilson is suffering from a debilitating stomach condition.
At that point, Bill had given up. He did not care if he lived or died.
At the clinic, the lab reports take everyone by surprise.
All of the test results were negative, except for his stool sample.
When I saw the result, I was amazed. I told Bill he had a very contagious parasite called Blastocystis hominis.
It lives in the human intestine, and the body reacts to those invaders by inducing vomiting and diarrhea. But the parasites are tenacious, and they continue to reproduce. In severe cases, complications from a Blastocystis hominis infection can be fatal.
Bill's prognosis is dire.
He was losing weight very fast, and that will take the necessary nutrients out of his body, and that will lead him ultimately to death. I didn't think he will live more than a few months.
It was scary. I didn't know how long his body could keep up with him losing so much weight. I just kept wondering, at what point do your organs start shutting down?
To save Bill's life, Dr. Hovsep Medesian gives him a 3-week course of an antiparasitic drug called metronidazole.
At this point, I believe I was about 128 pounds, from 170, 175 pounds. So I was willing to try anything that the doctor suggested to me. But I had a strong fear that I wasn't going to make it.
But how did Bill catch this parasite in the first place?
Blastocystis can live in the gastrointestinal tracts of multiple different species, and it's believed that there can be cross-infections between humans, farm animals, even dogs. Humans become infected when they ingest water or food that's tainted with contaminated feces.
In Bill's work as a plumber, there are many ways for the blastoparasite to infect a new host.
You constantly get a blast of raw sewage water hitting your body. It was unavoidable. The chances of ingesting raw sewage are very good. I thought that I was just going to wither away to nothing, and I'll just stop breathing.
Bill begins a 3-week course of the medication. Once inside his bloodstream, the drug enters the cells of the parasite, where it creates a compound that destroys the parasite's molecular structure.
Once Bill started taking the medicine, it was like night and day. He immediately started to gain weight again. He got his appetite back. He started to become more Bill than what we had seen in the past.
10 days later, Bill regains his former strength. But the blastoparasites have left their mark, forcing Bill to make some tough career choices.
After a long career in the plumbing industry, it was really hard for me to walk away from the business.
Bill has found a new job working in building management, much to Michelle's delight.
I feel that this has made us a lot closer. When you think for even a moment that you're dying, and then you find out that you're not, it makes you look at everything differently.